You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as do Christians suffer from mental illness?
Hey, guys, welcome to another wonderful session of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your host, Annette Harris, so I thank you in advance so much for watching and or listening on today. You know, of course, what I have to do before I get started, I must acknowledge the Lord. Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you for the bright sunshine that we see. We thank you for who you are and how you are. Get the glory out of this session on today and everything we're going to say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. Our opening scripture that I normally like to quote is the first part of Hosea 4 and 6, and it states, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee." And again, if you see my face, that must mean that it's a Wednesday afternoon, 12 noon Central Standard Time, until 2 p.m. is normally when we air Mind, Body, and Soul. And I encourage you to join us on today and in the days to come. I'm excited because I am featuring a wonderful guest on this afternoon. But before I actually introduce her to you, I want to let you know that we are live on my Facebook page, Annette, known as Annette, and also on YouTube right now. You will hear the audio of today's segment at the end of the show. The video portion will be uploaded for your convenience. So if you go to YouTube and type in Get Caught in Annette, A-N-E-T, you will definitely hear us live right now. And I do encourage you here on the live feed, on the Facebook live feed, I ask that you would please go ahead and hit the share button. What did I tell you all the time? It costs you nothing. Go ahead and click that share button, throw up some thumbs up, hearts. You can even throw up that little care button. We'd love to see you on today to know that you are here with us. And I want to introduce to you an individual that I actually kind of met, I guess it's been a couple of years ago now. We met, let's see, I think I was doing through Uber. That's what it was. Yes, it was through Uber. And we actually got to talking. She was a pleasant individual to have in my vehicle and to chat with, and she knows her stuff. I was very impressed after meeting this young lady. So I am introducing to many of you, because I want her to talk to you about who she is herself. But this is Erica Birdie Shavers. Birdie's in the house. Coach Erica. She's got a number of names here. She's a golf instructor. And you know what? And she is a woman, an individual that you need to know. And so that's why I wanted to highlight her on today. Amongst her many titles, we can slide author in there as well, because we're also going to feature her memoir that she's written in this book that is coming out. So Erica, how are you doing on today?
I am doing quite well today, Annette. First, I just want to thank you so much for inviting me as a guest on your show. And I really enjoyed our conversation as well in my Uber ride with you. You're a sharp lady, and I don't know, we just connected. And I'm glad that 2 years later we're sitting here actually connecting once again. So thank you so much for having me on the show. And you're right, I do go by a few different names besides my birth name, but I answer to them all. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, thank you again for joining us on today. I don't take it for granted when I do have guests on, and I don't have any and everybody on. So if I do have you on, that must mean I'm trying to promote you. I want you to share things with my listeners. And, I think I believe we're going to have a great time here. So let's see, I know that there are probably going to be a lot of people that are on in the YouTube. So whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, if you want to leave any comments, questions, you want to say hey to Erica, please do that on today, and we will definitely hop on over here and make sure that we your comments on today or questions if you may have them. So let's see here. I actually have a couple of bios of Miss Erica that I received. Let's see, but what I think I want to do, I want to ask her to introduce herself in her own words to my listeners, to all of you that joined us on today. Erica, if anybody was to say, who is this Erica Birdie Shavers? What would you say?
So Erica Birdie Shavers, Birdie, because I love the game of golf, is a native Chicagoan, the oldest of three, and I have passion for the game, Annette, and I never saw golf in my rearview mirror 13 years ago. I started out in the real estate profession, doing mortgages for over 25 plus years, and I was quite passionate about that as well. And I just truly believe that if there's something that you really enjoy doing, do it, as a career, do it as a hobby. But golf is something that I'm really, really excited to be a part of my life. So I went to DeKalb for 2 years at NIU, and then I transferred back here to Chicago and completed my undergrad at Columbia College, majoring in advertising, as a matter of fact, and worked at one of the largest agencies in the country at the time, which was Leo Burnett. And so I worked in advertising for quite some time, but also having a second love for real estate. And so I was actually doing them both at the same time. And then I finally found myself full-time in real estate industry for, doing acquisition and rehab and doing mortgages and first-time home buyer workshops. So that's the first half of my life. So the second half of my life just started 13 years ago when the real estate crash happened, which, devastated the entire country and the world for that matter. And I was one of those that was affected by that. And so golf kind of found me through Wii Sports video game. And so I was passionate about playing this video game. And Tiger Woods, as a matter of fact, was at the highlight of his career around 2006, 2007. And so I just found myself playing the video game, at all times of night, and, create your own little avatar. And a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, her husband plays. And so he would, talk about playing on Sundays with his friends. I said, you know what? If you're this passionate about this video game, why don't you, take it a little bit more seriously, take some, private lessons, group lessons. And that's how it really got started. And then I didn't play in college. I didn't play in high school, but I did play other sports. And so, yeah, that's the long and short of how golf entered into my life.
Okay. Well, that's actually when I read your bio and you mentioned about the Wii, because I don't know if when I first met you, I knew that was how it sparked in your life. And when I saw the Wii, I was like, oh, that's right, Wii, and then that's amazing actually that you, kind of say, okay, I need to take this further than just playing this Wii game. And I often tell individuals, I said, even here dealing with being in the radio industry, this fell in my lap. If you had asked me years ago, 15 years ago or whatever, would I be doing this? I'm like, no, that wasn't even in my view. So I can understand, how you say that from your point of view with golf. Let's see here. Thank you for introducing yourself and telling individuals a little bit about you. I'm going to recognize some individuals that are here on Facebook Live. We have Demetra Brand Triplet. Thank you for watching. Lady Beverly, thank you. Brandy, McCord is on. Let's see, Beatrice Carter, I see you. And Demetrius Hunt, I also see you. There are other names here that I can't see. I know that there is a watch party that's going on now as well. So I'm going to try to get over there to you. So we're kind of all, have people in all places that are watching us right now. So I do appreciate you. So make sure you guys go ahead and click that share button on that Facebook, and then we will make sure that we recognize you as well. So yeah, this is very inspirational. Now, as I was preparing for today, I said to myself, one of the things that I think I appreciated about you and your journey, Erica, again, is, the fact that I can tell you're such a go-getter. You really are. And it seems that whatever you're in it. like you said about the real estate and I think you mentioned about Leo Burnett, so the advertising that area as well. It seems like when you're in it, you're in it. So you put your all into it. And knowing you or have met you a couple of years ago, that is exactly what we all need, not just women. So you guys are listening too. You can take away. There's some takeaways for you as well on today. About how you don't allow the things that come in life to knock you down and leave you down there. We know things are going to happen, but how do we overcome? What should we do? So the first thing is keep in mind, Erica, she pushed through, and I want her to express that with us on today and how she came through. So let's see here. I have some things written down. You've introduced yourself, and let's see here. Yeah, I do see some people on YouTube watching, and I'm trying to make sure that I also get over there and see if they have any comments as well. Let's see here. This game of golf, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand golf at all. Okay, that's probably one of the sports aside from hockey that I really haven't gravitated to. Probably because simply I don't understand it. And I have an uncle who is passionate about golf. I really need to connect you guys. He's passionate about it. He goes out and he plays, and I'm always teasing him, if I don't get him on the phone, I'm like, are you out there are you out there playing golf, or something like that? But he loves it. And one thing he told me, I'm trying to segue into this. He told me, he said, you would really love the game of golf. He said, you have to understand there is a connection between psychology and golf. And I said, really? He was like, yes, there is. And so he's kind of telling me a little bit of things. I said, okay. Maybe this is something I need to just kind of, get into and understand myself. So I want to start off with that question, Erica, if we could. Maybe kind of do a little relation between psychology and golf and, the mental aspects of it. Why is there a connection there?
Well, for me, Annette, so if we just go back in terms of I know I was fascinated by playing it on the Wii Sports video game, but I truly believe that it came into my life at the best time ever. I lost my home. I lost my investments during that time, and I found myself downsized for my job. And so I really didn't know what the next step was going to be. And so golf was just, enjoyment. I found enjoyment and solace on the golf course. To be out with nature, it just really, truly, I was able to connect with that. And so during that time, it was really just God and golf. I had all this free time. I was still selling real estate a little bit on the side. But as soon as I started taking lessons and finding that I could actually make contact with the ball, and it just does something to you. It's a unique sport. It's a hard sport to learn. But when you really connect with it, it just you get connected to it in a special kind of way. And even now, I find more people are interested in learning the game. It could be the whole social distance piece. People just finding other activities to engage, being outdoors and hanging out with their friends. But there's something about the sport that parallels life that makes it more enjoyable than any other sport that I've ever played. I was actually playing softball with some friends on Sundays, just a way to have camaraderie and stay in shape and exercise and everything. And once I uncovered that I had an affinity for golf, I stopped playing softball and told them, I said, this is my last Sunday playing softball with you all. I'm going to go start playing golf, and I'm taking lessons right now. And golf actually helped me with my softball game, because I wasn't really, I was kind of fast. I ran track when I was in high school. So if I could just advance the ball out there someplace, I could run really fast and get on base. But it was just something about golf and that it's hard to explain. The people that you meet people from all over the city, all over the country. And you just make these connections on the golf course. My ladies league, for example, Golf was an impetus for many things, and my ladies league was one of them. So Ladies on the Green was founded in 2012, and not that it was anything I was searching. I just was trying to find ways to stay connected to the game until I figure out, am I going back into real estate? Do I want to do golf full time? And so I was working at a pro shop at a golf course, and I talked to a friend of mine who we were coworkers, and I said, I'm thinking about starting a ladies golf league. And she said, well, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. I said, okay. And so I just started connecting with women, and I was a part of this other league, and I started asking a few of the women that they wanted to be, a part of a league that I'm about to start, and it just kind of built from there. And so these women that have been a part of Ladies on the Green are just amazing. I mean, they're so much fun. I mean, there's a little bit of competitiveness there, and we'll be 10 years old in 2021. So I'm looking forward to celebrating that 10-year anniversary with the Ladies League. So it's just been something that's been building for the past 13 years, and I encourage, if you have an interest in learning the game, you don't have to have this desire to play on tour or anything like that. It's just really a lot of fun, and even the clients that I have and the kids that I work with at First Tee, they just find a lot of fun, and it's challenging, just like life is challenging, and so that's my story, and then I'm sticking to it. So it's peaceful. I find peace and joy when I'm playing the game. And even on the days when I don't play so well, I still find peace and joy just being able to connect with the sport.
That's awesome. Because, I do understand that there is a psychological just like you said. I'm sure when you get out there on the greens, you're concentrating. You have to figure out, okay, I want to hit this ball here, and then I don't want to. I don't know all the terms, under par, over par. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I know you have to figure some things out mentally before you hit that ball. I'm sure, and so I believe that's why my uncle was telling me that. So you just explaining that it helps me to understand something a little bit more. Let's see. I thank you guys for tagging individuals. I see you, Divine. I see you, Dion. Mackins, thanks for watching. Divine says, blessings, everyone. God bless you, Erica. She says she's out and about, but she's going to share. Thank you. I appreciate it. She said her grandfather was a golf pro. Okay. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Says golf has been something I've always wanted to try. Whether I'm actually good at it or not, it just seems like a very serene sport. I have always wanted to take my sons to just introduce them to something that young Black men usually aren't exposed to. And that's a very good point. Thank you for sharing that, Brandy, because the golfing pro that I had on here before, young Black, he's a young man, young Black man. Mm-hmm. And so, with her saying that she wanted to take her sons or whatever, she's always been interested. I think it's a good way to go. I'm not a golfer, or anything like that, but I think it is a good way to go. And it seems like it's a calm, serene sport, if you will, that would kind of help people, even in their everyday lives, I go out, I like to get out and exercise. I like to go walking. And when I do that, it's like it kind of opens up, for me mentally. Of course, it's good for me physically, but, I get, thoughts are just running, things to do. And, you know what I'm saying? Because my mind is, I'm out in the open, whatever. So I'm kind of getting this feeling that's the same thing with golf. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it parallels life in so many ways. It taught me to be a lot more patient. Because you can't hit a rush shot. If you hit a rush shot, it's subject to not be a good shot. So you have to be patient when you play the game of golf. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about it. I think during the time when I picked up the sport, I was doing a lot of different things. And I was doing things without thinking, right? I was just making fast decisions and putting myself in situations where that I thought were best for me and they weren't. But playing golf helps to slow you down and think about the process and not the outcome. You know, I'm a big dreamer, and so I'm dreaming big, right? I'm dreaming like I want this and I want that, and I'm not thinking about the process that it takes to get there. I want it to happen, and I want it to happen now. And with golf, it slows you down, and you have to take one shot at a time, right? To get the ball in the hole in the least amount of strokes is how you play the game. And so life is the same way. One thought at a time. Put that process in place, take baby steps, and you can build that dream that you have into whatever it is that you want. But you got to take it, one step at a time. Don't put the cart before the horse, as they say, and enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. So this whole golf thing, I've been able to enjoy the journey one step at a time, and so for me, it's proven to be very beneficial.
Okay. Yeah. That was a wonderful analogy, though. I love that. To slow you down. A lot of times we as humans, and you mentioned about you're a big dreamer, right? As humans, in our minds, why should I have to wait on stuff? Let me just go for it and get it done. But like you said, it teaches you how to calm down, take your time, so to speak. And that's not always easy for humans.
Right. Exactly.
So that's good stuff there. I hope you guys are taking all this in on today, because these how we can relate golf to life itself. Let's see. I think I have a question on the floor. How would Ms. Shavers advise someone who would love to get started in golf but don't have the exorbitant disposable income to play and purchase proper equipment for the sport?
So if it's for a child, for example, the organization that I work for, First Tee Greater Chicago, we introduce golf to kids ages 7 to 18 years old. And so if there is a financial hardship, we do provide scholarships for kids that want to be a part of the program. So it's accessible now, and it wasn't accessible years ago, and it's still not as accessible as it used to be, but it's accessible. And so one of the things that I would encourage your caller is to identify, let me know if it's a child or not, and then we can, get them a part of the program. If it's an adult, I'd say just the way I got involved with it, because I heard that it was an expensive sport. I just went and bought a putter, and I would putt on my carpet. I bought a sleeve of golf balls, I bought a putter, and then I had one of those little plastic cups, and I taped it to the carpet, and I would just putt. I didn't even invest in clubs right away. And then once I saw that I really liked it, I bought Golf for Dummies. And then I started, educating myself on the game that way. And then I took some of my savings at the time, and I, invested in group lessons and in private lessons before the whole shebang came falling apart for me. But I enjoyed it enough to take baby steps until I was able to financially support my habit, put it like that. And so, yeah, I would say start small. And, if you need lessons, there are people out there that are affordable to provide, golf lessons. Yeah, so I would just say start there. If it's children, it's accessible. It's accessible right now. So.
Okay, I like that. Thanks for explaining that, because people may want to do it, but maybe they have a hindrance. Maybe they've heard how expensive it is, or what have you. But thanks for sharing those tips. When you got started. Because you have to think about it, especially for kids. You may have a child that said, "Mom, I want to play the violin," or "I may want to do this," and then they'll do it for a few weeks, and then they don't want to do it anymore. But
right.
We just talked about you set things up in your living room, and then you tried to figure out whether or not you yourself wanted to continue on with golf. So I think that those are very good points to take in. So Brandy, hopefully that answered your question. Joe McCourt, I see you, and Daisy Ross. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Lady Beverly says that was a beautiful life analogy. I agree. I totally agree. Let's see here on YouTube. I'm over here. I'm coming over, guys. Amaziah Burton is on, and we have a question from them. The question is, what is the best ways to get into golf if you are a beginner to the game?
So, Amazia, if you're a beginner to the game, I'd say, take lessons, take group lessons, find you can go online, or I can connect you obviously with group lessons. And I would just start there. It's good to take lessons with other people, because now you're in the room with like-minded people and you're learning together. And then you can potentially, create some friendships with someone that you can go out and practice with and play with. But, we were all beginners. All golfers were beginners once, right? And so right now there's a group of women that are taking lessons right now. Some of them are my sorority sisters, and they're taking group lessons. And so I would just say start there. If you have a desire, or you need a clubs or something like that, but that's basically what you need to have in order to, to get started, is just the desire, and then you can always hook up with people that can help you, learn the game.
Okay, great, well, wonderful. Hopefully that answered your question. They have another one for you as well. Oh, how do you incorporate children into the game of golf?
So children, well, I wouldn't go out and invest too much, into clubs or anything. Again, First Tee is a really great program. So I would, seek out any junior golf programs that are out there, but First Tee is a great way to start. We provide, scholarships if there's a financial hardship. We have clubs on site of our different program sites. So we provide the tools you need to introduce your child to the game. And if they really, really like it and they want their own clubs, they will come to you and say, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, I really like the game of golf. Can I have my own clubs? Because kids in the class have their own clubs, and I want my own clubs too. But we provide all of the resources and equipment needed for them to get started. So
that's actually a good thing. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. It will eliminate excuses as well.
Yes.
And have people to really figure out if this is something that I want to do. So
exactly. Yeah.
She said, thanks for those amazing tips. Let's see. Oh my goodness, she has more. I appreciate you over here on YouTube. Thank you so much. Another question, well, two more questions. How does golf relate to daily life lessons? Now, I know you kind of chatted about that a little bit earlier, but I don't know if you kind of want to maybe reiterate or go into a little bit more with that question.
So I think it relates in a lot of different ways. I mean, I think with golf, you have to be strategic, right? And so if you're, up against a par 3, for example, it takes 3 strokes to get the ball into a hole on a par 3. Same with the par 4, par 5. And you have to decide, how am I going to get from point A to point B? And you can play that same thought process in your mind as it relates to business. How am I going to get from point A to point B? And where do I need to start? What club do I need to use, first of all? What are the conditions of the situation? Like, it may be windy that day, it may be raining that day, maybe a little cold. So I have to first decide, how am I going to prepare to navigate this hole? And so now that I know the distance of the hole, the conditions, now I can go ahead and get started. So I pick my club, I hit the ball, it travels a certain distance. Do I want to lay up the shot and then use my short game to finish out the hole? So you have to have strategy when you're playing the game of golf, and you have to have strategy when you're playing the game of life. And so if that's the best way that I can describe that. And use good judgment. Judgment is key in making those decisions. So you really got to think about the process before you make a decision to do anything, and using good judgment plays a huge role in that. Now, does it always go the way you plan it? Not necessarily, but you got to know how to recover too. So.
Oh, and that's key. You just said something. You got to know how to recover.
Got to know how to recover. Yeah.
Well, let me piggyback off of that, and I'll get to your next question that's on here. Let me piggyback off of that. Knowing how to recover. So, what kind of, when you're playing the game of golf? I mean, I'm sure that you don't hit perfectly all the time. So with that in mind, I I have a niece, and this is a totally different sport that she would play. She used to play tennis. So if she messed up, sometimes it would get in her head, and she had the rest of the match to go, but that one mistake that she knew that she shouldn't have made, or she knew that she should have done a certain thing, sometimes it would mess her up, and the rest of the match would you just may as well just hand the racket over. You know what I mean? So, with that in mind, knowing how to recover, how do you recover in golf?
Well, you have good shots and you have not so good shots. And so for me, I think, golf is to me a form of meditation too, Annette. And so if I hit a shot that I really don't like or wasn't a really good shot, I try to breathe. I try to breathe and relax, not be too hard on myself, which I am anyway, but try not to be too hard on myself and say, okay, let me just focus on the next shot. And you'll hear professional golfers talk about it all the time. I read a lot of biographies and autobiographies from different golfers, and they talk about, one shot at a time. You really have to let that go in order to move forward. And so the same in life, you have to let some things go and move forward. So if you hit a bad shot, shake it off, replay it. So in the first tee, we have what's called the 4 R's, right? So if you hit a bad shot, you think about these 4 R's. First of all, you have to relax, okay? Secondly, replay what you just did. Third, get ready for the next shot and then redo. So that is a way to just stay calm, okay? That is a method of staying calm and then moving on to the next hole or moving on to the next shot. But yeah, use those 4 R's, relax, replay, ready, and redo, take a deep breath and move on. Because golf can be frustrating. It really can. You're playing well one day and then the next day, you're like, what's wrong? Why am I not making connection with the ball? And then the saga happens. Then you're beating yourself up because you're not doing as well as you did the other day. And so it requires a lot of focus. If you can, one of the reasons why Tiger Woods is so amazing, he knows how to focus and not let any of the noise interfere with what it is he's doing. And if you can do that in life, not listen to the naysayers and the haters, and then just really focus on the task ahead of you, you can get a lot accomplished. I think we just as human beings focus so much on what people are saying and thinking and doing, and we take all the attention off ourselves that we're not gonna do very well. So I think, that's the best way I can describe it in terms of, letting things go and focusing on and relaxing and breathing and move on to the next shot. So
yeah, that's an excellent point. Thank you for that. And I would totally agree with you. I think the next question here, let's see. Oh my goodness. To piggyback off of her first question about how golf relates to daily life lessons, she also said perhaps a relationship with things like meditation or exercise. So I don't know how you want to answer that one.
So exercise, so I've recently come upon some really neat exercises as it relates to golf. And some of them are wrist exercises where you can actually take the golf club. I don't know if I can step back and do one of them real quick in there.
Okay.
This is Tweety. Everybody see Tweety? Hi, Tweety.
Hey, Tweety.
So this is one neat exercise that you can do just to ignite your wrist in the golf exercise. You want to extend it out, chest high, and then you can just and you'll feel the weight of the club head, and this really kind of ignites the wrist, right? So this is a good form of exercise. And then another one is just stretching your arms up and back and working your shoulders. That's another one. And then this is one where you got to actually rotate and swing, back swing, forward swing. And so people think golf is not a sport. And then there's another one where you can actually do leg swings, swing back and forth. And that kind of helps with your hips right? And you can swing back and through, ignite the hips. This is another one in the middle. So there's a lot of really neat exercises that you can do to help strengthen your body for the game of golf. And there's a ton of other ones I can't do it in this room, but yeah, so if you don't have a chance to get to the driving range, for example, and you want to warm up, you can take 2 clubs and just practice your swing. You can do the wrist exercises I was just demonstrating and leg swings, squats, just kind of warm up a little bit so that you're relaxed when you take that first swing off the tee box. A lot of times we're rushing and we're trying to get there, and I say I do it all the time, but yeah, you get to that tee box, you want to be relaxed before you make the first swing. So exercises are really good.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Those are very good. I'm going to take those in for myself. Let's see here. Auntie Sam, I see you on. Thanks for watching. Byron Hill. And let's see, we have more questions. Arnett, I see you in Cornelius. Brandy says, did you ever feel pushback in this male-dominated sport? And I'm reading her question because I was about to tackle that one as well. Because I don't know, by the time you came in, it was more, did the females break into it a little bit more by the time you came into it or not? But her question again, did you ever feel pushback in this male-dominated sport?
So, well, let me answer the second question. So there are 2 organizations that I could think of right now that have been around for years. The Chicago Women's Golf Club is a women's golf organization or golf club or league, if you will. And they've been around for 80 plus years. Okay. And I didn't know this when I first got into golf. I found out about it a little bit later. And then there's another organization called the Women's Golf Club of Columbus Park, which is near Oak Park. And they've been around in the Austin community, and they've been around almost 70 something years, I think. So there are women golf organizations that are around that have been around a long time. There's another league called the South Shore Ladies League, and I was a part of that league. I was also part of the Women's Golf Club of Columbus Park. I've been a part of that league. And so when I first started playing, I was playing with men all the time. So because I didn't know any women that played golf. And so when I would go to the golf course or the driving range, I would mostly see men. And it wasn't until I met a young lady who was part of the Sunday League that I eventually joined when I stopped playing softball, introduced me to all these women that played golf. Now, in terms of pushback, my family, I won't say they pushed back, but they were just kind of curious as to where I was going with this golf, right? Where are you going with golf? Because you need to get a real job. And at the time, as I mentioned to you, I was downsized from my job, and then I started, picking up golf as a hobby. So I kind of had to figure out, okay, what are you going to do like financially? Because this golf thing isn't paying all the bills. But so there was a little bit of pushback in terms of, is this the best decision for me? But I tell you what, because I was so committed to the game, the guys that I was playing with actually thought I had been playing for a long time. Like they thought I had picked up golf in high school or college or something like that. And I had not. I just was committed to learning and playing it well. And so, yeah.
Okay.
But if there was any pushback, I didn't see it from that respect.
Well, that's a good thing. But you know what, Erica, knowing you probably wouldn't have it. Because again,
I like the challenge. So it was fun. I once I was able to play, and there's some girlfriends that can attest to this. I enjoy being paired up with the guys.
Really? Okay.
Just so I can show my stuff. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's fun. It's fun when you can play a game and you can play up against something considered a male-dominated sport and be able to hold your own. So, and not everybody that takes up the sport has that type of desire or passion for it. I mean, it still can be fun and enjoyable regardless of how you score. But for me, I have some competitive, blood in me. So yeah, I was up for the challenge. So
that's good. You could actually encourage someone else in that respect. How you doing, Joyce Houston? Thank you so much. Deborah Banks, we appreciate you all. Go ahead and make sure you click that share button as you're coming in. Let's see. There was a second part to Brandy's question. How have you been able to overcome discrimination? And she says, be it racial or gender focused, in order to continue and eventually excel in the golf world.
Well, so I've traveled to different, cities to play, and in state and out of state. And, I've been paired up with, people of other races. And golf is, for the most part, I've had friendly interactions with other golfers outside my race, for the most part. I think some of my fellow golfers have had encounters. Well, I take that back. So one time, me and some of my ladies in a league, we were up in Michigan, and we're playing on a golf course, and I can't recall the name of it right now. And we're playing relatively, at a good pace. And so we were accused of playing slow. And there wasn't really anybody in front of us, and there wasn't really anybody behind us. And I'm trying to recall what happened on this particular day. But yeah, I think we were being discriminated against on that day and being accused of playing slow. And we even picked up the pace a little bit because golf has a certain level of etiquette that you want to adhere to, and so pace of play is one of those things. You don't want to slow anybody down, and so needless to say, we didn't finish the round. I'll just leave it at that. We did not finish the round, and we were given a credit to come back, and neither one of us have been back since. But I would have to say that's the first time I've actually encountered, some degree of racism, if you will, on the golf course.
Okay. Yeah. Now, did you not finish the round on your own? That was your choice?
Right. Okay. Yeah. We just decided that, because at that time we were just disgusted, and it's hard to play golf when you're disgusted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to have an enjoyable experience, right? And that you can just blow it off. I mean, I could have probably blown it off and continue to play because I'm like, I want to finish. But, at the same time, I'm like, nah, that's okay. I don't want to, spend any more of my time.
Yeah.
With this type of situation. And yeah, so it wasn't a very good experience for us. So.
Okay. I get it. I understand totally. And I probably would have left too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Let's get back to what I have here. And I do appreciate all of you for your comments and questions that you're sharing with us on today. And hopefully Erica is answering them for you. Let's see here. And I know that you have now, I think we can kind of move on to what you're doing now. You pretty much have mastered this game. So you're teaching, you're coaching. You mentioned about ladies on the green or what have you, but take us into a day of Coach Erica. You have individuals that have signed up to learn the game of golf. Do you start out with those who maybe are novices like me, or do you just start out with individuals who already know what they're doing when you're coaching?
We start out with all of them, Annette. I mean, all walks of life are learning this game. All walks of life are trying to improve the game. So to me, you encounter all of those. You have beginners, you have people that have played for years and then they stop playing and now they want to come back to play. So there's different levels of skill that are out there on the golf course. You have people that play just for business reasons. They only go out to play and they practice more than they actually play. You have people that like high school golfers, for example. I'm a high school golf coach too. And I'm not sure what direction we're going this season with the sport, with the pandemic and everything. But so you have kids at different levels, you have adults at different levels. So I guess it just really depends on where they are and how they want to progress in the game. How serious are they about it? And some people just do it as a way of as an escape. I tell you, it's really nice when you get out there on the golf course. It's nice, it's quiet, it's enjoyable. the birds, the trees, the green grass. You know, my green is one of my favorite colors. So I hope I answered that question. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, no, you did. You did. Now let's kind of move into another one of the reasons why I had you on today. Your memoir.
Did you freeze on me?
I'm sorry.
I think you froze on me, Annette.
Oh, actually, I think you did. You're frozen there. You may want to exit out and come back in. Oh, I think you're there.
Yeah, there you are. Yes.
Okay. So I was going to talk about, or wanted to ask you about your memoir.
Yes.
It does seem as if you like to keep striving for things. You know, when you excel at one thing, you want to do something else. So now you've written about a little bit about your journey. So tell us about that. When is this book coming out? When can we get our hands on it to read a little bit more about your journey? And I think you collaborated, if I'm not mistaken, with other individuals in this book. So talk to us about this A Purpose-Driven Woman book that's coming out.
So A Purpose-Driven Woman, 14 Memoirs of Becoming Fearless and Intentional, is 14 women who've encountered different struggles in life, and joys, if you will. So I didn't seek it out, to be quite honest, in that I'm not going to take full credit for just saying, ooh, I want to write a book about, you know, a period in my life and why I started playing golf. I was sharing my story with someone, and someone said, you know what, Erica, that's a really good story. That's an inspiring story. You should share that with someone. And I didn't think much about it. And then I said, okay. You know, I'm just going through life. You know, I'm just, you know, something happened. Let me fix the problem. Let me get out of this situation. Let me move on so I can have a quality of life that I want to have. And so it turns out that it's a testimony, right? I'd say God and golf is what saved me, you know, during that period of time. And so for me, when I shared the story, Felicia Shakespeare, who's the facilitator of this project, said, you know what, I'm putting together a few women to write a chapter in this book, and I'd like for you to be a part of that. And so I thought about it, and I said, okay, maybe this is a sign that I should share, you know, part of my story about what it is that I do. Because unless I tell you how I got into golf, you know, people may think that I've, you know, played all my life. So yeah, I took on the task of writing it, and you know what? It was very therapeutic to just sit down and write about what happened, you know, step by step and phase by phase. It brought back some emotion, you know, during that time, and how this all came about, and the choices that I made during that time to even get in the situation that I was in at the time. And it was really very good to just write it all out and just get it all out. And, you know, because I was past it. That wasn't something that I needed to have therapy about any longer. I was really felt good to just write it all out and to be as private as I used to be in that. And I never would have done this, you know, 10 years ago, 20 years, 15 years ago, I never would have done this. But I found that the more you share who you are with people, the more they understand who you are as a person, and the better connection you have. You know, I think being in a sorority helped me with that tremendously, just being able to open up and be honest and share who I am as a person. And so writing this chapter in the book helped me to do that.
Okay, all right. Was it difficult for you to do?
No. I mean, I'm not a literary person, so in terms of like putting it together a little bit, yes, but the actual story itself, no, it wasn't. Once I made the decision to do it, it just mattered me finding the time to do it.
Right.
And so I'm happy that I'm a part of this project.
Well, good. And when do we expect it out? Is it out?
So, well, first I want to thank all of my supporters who've already pre-ordered their copy of the book. I really appreciate that very much. The book hopefully is coming out in September. You know, the pre-orders are still being received right now this month. And so the facilitator, she just received her copy. And so we're hoping once she's taken read it through and checked everything, make sure everything is as it should be, then all of those orders will be placed, and I'll be having like a little reception for everybody to come and get their copy. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Well, I feel honored for you to come on Mind, Body, and Soul before it comes out to kind of talk about it a little bit. And I would encourage you guys to make sure, go ahead and friend Erica on Facebook. I think we all also have her email address if you are interested in. Is this a good way for them to contact you if they are interested in getting the book?
Yes. swingeasygolflessons@gmail.com is a very good email to use to make your pre-orders. Yes.
Okay, we'll do that. What I'll do is make sure we put it in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube so that they can email you and say, hey, I want to get a copy of that book when it comes out. I want to do a pre-order or what have you. I want to encourage you guys to do that. We need to support one another. We really do.
Yeah.
And especially, when we're doing things, or individuals are doing things that will help someone else. And her story, you heard it today. I had it set up correctly today. I wanted her to talk about herself and her journey, so that you all will understand the relationship of golf to life and how she has come through, her situations and how golf helped her. So we want to encourage you guys to make sure you follow her. You can also go to Facebook. She has a Swing Easy Golf Facebook page. Is that right? Swing Easy Golf. Swing Easy. All right. Look, I don't know what I'm doing. Look, my little form is like all the way off. But anyway, and then also her personal page, Erica Birdie Shavers, is actually her personal page on Facebook. So you guys look her up. I'm going to place in the comment section. Hey, Gloria, I'm going to place in the comment section her email so that you can email her. All of you that asked questions on today and you are interested in the game of golf, please look her up. I highly recommend that you do just that. You can tell she's a determined woman of God to do what she's doing. And like I said earlier, when she's in something, she's in it. She is definitely in it. So you know what I'm actually going to do right now? We have a spoken word that I want to have played on today. And it was penned by our own wonderful Elder Kevin McGee. Mind, Body, and Soul is housed with and connected with Intellectual Radio. So is Elder McGee and his show entitled Connections. His show is on Saturdays at 12 noon. But every week he blesses Mind, Body, and Soul with a spoken word that is relevant to the day's topic. So I actually want to take time to play that on today before we actually end the session on today. So why don't you guys take a listen?
Teeing off, determined to make it to the fairway, stopping on the green, trying to stay at least 2 under par, getting out of the rough, although if I must, I know how to play through. It may slow me down, but it would not stop me because I found that sweet spot that always pays off. Such is the game of life, no matter the course. God will give you the drive to make it. And though you may hit a bogey in life, never give up, because somewhere God has a hole in one in your destiny. So keep playing this game called life. Never give up, never give in, but keep chipping away, because soon you will reach your goal, marked by that final flag that will let you know that this round in your life has not been in vain.
That's good.
I like that, Annette.
You like it? Right, all right.
That was pretty cool. I might need to get a copy of that.
Yeah, we can ask him. We can definitely ask him for that. I'm hoping you would like that. but he actually he has a talent for that. And I believe the Lord really uses him. I can just tell him, hey, I'm having such and such on my show. This is what the show's gonna be about. He's never read your book. He doesn't really know anything about you, but I know that the Lord guides him in that way. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes. Well, I mean, and that just goes to show you how he made that, parallel that to life. There may be a bogey that you may have to encounter, on that journey, but, just keep chipping away, right? Just keep chipping away, and you'll have that hole-in-one, which I did have 2 hole-in-ones in my lifetime. One was an official hole-in-one in Little Rock, Arkansas, but there was no one around to see it. And I was out there visiting some friends, and I went to go play, and I didn't have my club, so I borrowed some clubs from the course. And it was a 9-hole course, and I went around twice. And on the 18th hole, I pulled out a 7-iron on a par 3, and it just soared in the air, landed, and then I didn't see where it went. And so I, drive down to the green, and there it was in the hole. I'm like, and all I could see were the birds and the squirrels cheering me on, but it had no witnesses. But that wasn't an official hole-in-one, which was my second. My first one was actually my second year in playing the game. I was at a golf course across Fountain Hills in Elsa, and I was playing with 3 other people. And so I hit an errant shot. And as I'm still learning the game, I said, "Well, can I hit another one? Can I hit another one?" I said, "Sure." And I hit the shot and it went right in the hole to par on that par 3. So yeah, I've had two hole-in-ones, so to speak.
Wow, that's
and so that is encouraging. I mean, when you do things like that, it encourages you, inspires you. You feel like, oh, I can do anything. If you can play golf, to be quite honest, you can do anything, because it's a difficult sport.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It requires a lot of commitment. It requires a lot of commitment and time. 2.5 hours to 4 hours on the golf course, that's a lot of time when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And that's like half your day. 4 hours on the golf course, that's like half your day. In terms of an 8-hour day working.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like, okay, that's half of a work day. But okay, just like you said, if you're determined, you have to be committed. You'll be committed to that job because I know you want that paycheck. So
Exactly.
But yeah, okay, well, great. I see you, Buddy Gill. Thanks for joining and watching us on today. Greg Owens, Janetta Franklin, Lula Bell McKinney. We appreciate you for watching. Oh, Brandy, thank you so much. She put both of your Facebook page up. Easy Swing, Easy Golf. Thank you for putting that link up so that individuals can make sure that they contact her. And if you are looking to get a hold of that book when it comes out, you want to do a pre-order and you want to make sure that you support. Do you have any final words for us on today? I know that, and you know what? Erica's a busy woman. She is busy. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? She got classes over here, classes over there, and so she flows mind, body, and soul in on today. So I appreciate her doing that, and I didn't want to take too much of her time up. So we were having an abbreviated session on today. I normally go for 2 hours, but I know she has to get to the rest of her day. So I am, again, appreciative of you joining me on today, Erica, and sharing. You shared some great tips on today. I just want you to know you really did, and I took it in. So hopefully my listeners and supporters did just as well. But as we are ending up today, do you have any final words that you want to share with us?
So first and foremost, Annette, thank you so much for just letting me come on your show and share my story and just inspire others to see what this golf is all about. See what this golf game is all about. I mean, there's still a shortage of people of color professionally in the sport. So I'm happy to see, players like Cameron Champ and Howard Garner III and just other golfers out there taking on this challenging sport. So we want to support our young people that are aspiring to play the game, especially people of color. And I just want to say a shout out to everybody that's watching today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. And I have no desire to do anything else. And that golf came into my life at a great time. I think at the perfect time. I don't see myself doing anything else for the next 10 to 15 years, 20 years for that matter. I mean, you could play golf until you're 99.9 years old. I saw a video of an older lady, and she was up there in age, and she was out there on the golf course. And I said, you know what? That's going to be me. That's going to be me. That 80-year-old lady riding around in a cart, still hitting this golf ball. I already know it. I see it.
You see it?
Yes. Yeah. But I really enjoy being with the kids. And so I said, if you have children that you want to have introduce them to something different, something new, just look me up. I'll connect you with our program. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's pre-ordered the book. And I look forward to hearing from some of your guests. And thank you so much, Annette. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you are so welcome. Well, you answered my last question. My last question was, what do you see yourself? You said you see yourself playing golf. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I get it. And I can see why. From listening to you on today, I can see why you want to continue on with it. Well, I bid you, much success. I bid you Godspeed, and I pray that you would continue to be successful in all that you're doing. And you're changing lives out there. It's a one swing at a time. She's swinging easy, guys. She's swinging easy. And look her up if you're interested. I know that there are many that give lessons. She's in the Chicagoland area. Make sure you guys connect with her if you're interested in becoming one of her students and learning from her. I'm sure she would definitely be glad to hear from you. So again, in the comment section, we already have one Facebook page link. We will make sure we put the other and her email. I'm seeing comments here. You guys don't want to let me go today, do you? Buddy says here, I have had opportunity to get out on the golf course and learn and play the sport. It is an addictive game if you're with the right people to teach you along the way. I have been encouraged seeing more and more brothers and sisters out there on the golf course. Thank you for that comment, buddy. I'm seeing a little bit more, like, on the news or whatever, and seeing more of us getting in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good, and I think it's important, because again, it teaches you good life lessons.
It does. Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I think we can handle things a whole lot better too, probably if we go that route. So yeah, thanks for that comment, buddy. I appreciate you. Guys, we're going to end on today, but thank you for your support. Thank you for welcoming my guest in. This is her first time on Mind, Body, and Soul, and I thank you guys for welcoming her in with your loving, warm kindness that you've shown on today and making her feel comfortable. I'm going to let her get out of here, but I do encourage you guys to go to my website, Get Caught in a Net, ANET radio.com for any information on past shows, upcoming shows, and all that we are supporting. And you will find all the information there, our promos. Next week. I have been lately promoting a lot of my millennials, and they have a voice, and they have things that they want to share with us. And actually, I love the millennials. I get energy from them, but I love seeing how they push and they go after what they want. This young lady that's going to come on next week, Jada White, will be my guest. She has started before and during the pandemic so many different businesses on her own. So I want to highlight her. She's doing a great thing. She's not out there, looking for handouts. She's making her way. And I want you guys to meet her on next week, Jada White. So stick with me, okay, guys, and look for the promos. All righty. Miss Erica, you go ahead and get back out on those greens, teach those students, do what you need to do, and we will be following you, okay?
All right. Thanks so much, Annette. Enjoy the rest of your week. And everybody have a great day.
All right, wonderful. All right, guys, we're out of here. We're playing our end jingle. You guys make sure you take time to get caught in a net. All right, guys, take care. Swing easy and get caught in a net.
Bye.